Today in Bible videos, we're gonna learn about the story of the 10 plagues of Egypt part 1. Are you ready? Let's get started. God told Moses and Aaron to go down to the river Nile, where Pharaoh went in the morning. They had a message from God to give to Pharaoh saying, "Let my people go, so that they may worship me in the wilderness." But Pharaoh refused. So Aaron did what God had instructed and struck the river Nile with his staff. The water was changed to blood. Fish died, and the Egyptians could not drink the water, and the river smelled very bad. Pharaoh's magicians did the same thing by their secret arts. Pharaoh refused to obey God and turned and went back to the palace. 7 days later, God told Moses to tell Aaron to stretch his staff over the streams and ponds to make frogs come out onto the land. Pharaoh's magicians used their secret arts and were able to do the same. Frogs were everywhere, and Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron. And Pharaoh promised, saying, "Pray to your God to take the frogs away from my people, and I will let your people go." And Moses replied, "So you will know there is no one like God. The frogs will leave you and your houses tomorrow." Then Moses prayed to God, and he answered him. Frogs died in the houses, courtyards, and fields. The dead frogs were piled into heaps, and the smell was really bad. Pharaoh, however, broke his promise and refused to let the Hebrews go and worship God in the wilderness. So God told Moses to tell Aaron to strike the dust with his staff, and the dust would become gnats. Pharaoh's magicians tried but could not do this. "This is the finger of God," they told Pharaoh. Gnats were on people and animals everywhere. Pharaoh still had a hard heart and refused to let the Hebrews go and worship God. Early in the morning, as Pharaoh went down to the river, Moses and Aaron told him what God had planned next. Swarms of flies would buzz around the Egyptians, but not the Hebrew slaves living in Goshen. So dense swarms of flies came into the palace and the house of the Egyptians. But the flies stayed away from the Hebrew slaves. Then again Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron, and he said, "I will let you go and offer sacrifices to your God, but you must not go far. Now pray to God to stop the flies." Then Moses prayed, and the next day the flies left. But Pharaoh broke his promise again and refused to let the Hebrew slaves go. Moses went to Pharaoh again, and he said, "If you refuse to let my people go, tomorrow God will bring a terrible plague on your horses, donkeys, camels, cattle, sheep, and goats, but livestock of the slaves will be spared." So the next day, the livestock of the Egyptians died. Pharaoh investigated and found out that the animals belonging to the Hebrew slaves were alive and well, but he refused to let God's people go and worship him in the wilderness. So Moses took soot from a furnace and threw it into the air in front of Pharaoh. And he said, "God is saying, this soot will become a fine dust, and people and animals will get festering boils." Pharaoh's magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils that broke out on them and the Egyptians, but Pharaoh still refused to let God's people go. So God sent Moses to tell Pharaoh that he was going to show his power by sending the worst hailstorm Egypt had ever had. Anyone not sheltering inside would be risking their life. The officials of Pharaoh who feared God brought their families and animals indoors, but those who ignored God stayed outside. When Moses raised his staff, the worst storm anyone had ever seen blew up. Lightning filled the skies and large hailstones came pounding down. Those caught outside were killed, but the storm did not hit the slaves living in Goshen. Now Pharaoh told Moses, "I have sinned. The Lord is right. I will let you go." So Moses went out of the city and spread out his hands to God. The thunder and hail stopped. Pharaoh, however, then changed his mind and stubbornly refused to let God's people go. He thought he could defy God, but God was not finished with him yet. The end. I hope you had fun learning the story of the 10 Plagues of Egypt Part 1. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more Bible videos. Bye.